Good morning, family. This is June 12th, and this is Anne reporting again from Hermitage Home Gardens. This should be week 5 of planting, but we haven't been able to get a lot done for a few reasons. It's been raining almost constantly since the end of May, and lots and lots of rain. So I've basically been trying to rescue the plants from too much water in the pots on the deck. Then on the third, I had surgery on my wrist and wasn't able to do much planting any planting at all because I was unable to work. I was disabled, I guess you could say, but still managed to get a few things done. We started eating from the garden. So far, we've gotten radishes and pop chow and lettuce from the garden. Gail has been lucky enough to be here to get pop chow. I think Michelle got pop chow last week. Gail got this week. Gail also got radishes because the radishes are finally in. I think they're bolting. This has been so hot that they're actually bolting, so I started picking them. I think this is a lettuce that bolted. So it's got flowers on there. And particularly because the root is white, and I'm pretty sure I didn't plant any white radishes. And so I think this is actually a lettuce. We've also gotten, as I mentioned, there's lettuce in the bed that we're able to get. We've gotten strawberries from the garden, also from the pots on the deck. We've been eating strawberries just about every single day. We're getting about a dozen. Some are smaller than others, and so I'm gonna have to figure out which is the variety I want to keep. We're also There are a lot of cars going by. I'm wondering if there's a road closure somewhere. Why so many people are coming through here? It doesn't usually happen. But let's continue. So on the deck, I still have, as I mentioned, some herbs. I still have a lot of the flowering plants to put out. These are actually to go in the in the beds, and I also have a couple of some annuals from seed that I planted, and this is an interesting phenomenon. The extra pop chow that started from seed is actually flowering in on the deck, and there is tomatoes from the microtom tomato coming up. I still have the kale to plant and the beans and the some more okra and the some watermelon that I plan to plant on the deck. And here there are some more beans right here already flowering. So I'm gonna just walk through and so you all can see that I still have a lot of work to do if I can get a chance to do it. We've got all the marigolds are flowering, so this is looking good. The blueberry bush that I just got is also got blueberries on there, so this is gonna be fun. And here's my banana, still not dead, which is gonna be extremely fun. And this is the gardenia standard that I bought to plant on the deck. Still alive. This is our pop chow that from the Big John pop chow. I'm saving seeds because I'm wondering if this variety is different from the one that we already plant. But let's see how it goes. We've eaten from this. A few days ago we had pop chow from here planted. This is mint that I dug up from the mint bed. There's a weed. Let me get rid of that while I'm standing here. And I just stuck it in here because it didn't die, dry up on the bed. So I figure it's trying to grow. I'll let it grow. And as you can see, this is, it's like a radish right here. Should probably lift it up. But I'm not ready. And these are lettuces. There's lettuce in the middle. And more radish right there. And pop chow. We've gotten pop chow. Elizabeth reaped pop chow for her mom a couple days ago. She planted them, so she got to pull them up. And this is the time that's flowering. So, and here's another radish right there. And our onions seem to be doing pretty good because I keep having to pull these skates off to stop it from to encourage it to make bulbs, to grow fatter in the bulb and not just grow seeds and flowers. So hopefully in a few, here I'm supposed to wait until this part gets all limp, and I should be moving the soil from around the onion to give it space to grow. But I'm not into all of that work, frankly speaking. Let's see how it goes. I might change my mind. Okay. All right. More work. We're headed down to check out the potatoes. And you can see this is craziness that's going on here. I mean, look at this. Everything is so big. I'm actually concerned now that I need to put more soil in these pots because of how much growth is on the top. And here I'm checking and I don't see any potatoes, but here I'm not supposed to see, the sun is not supposed to hit the potatoes when they're growing, or else you can't eat them. But so far, so good. So to protect that, I'm gonna have to just throw some more soil in here. Here are the red potatoes hanging in there, coming along. Most of the rest of these is the white fingerlings, and I think this one had purple potatoes in there. So let's see what happens. I guess we'll find out in a few months when I pull them up how we did. Very exciting. Okay, moving over to the main garden, our earth beds and the pots. We have the pumpkin that's looking good. There's two here are Jamaican pumpkins. This one over here is acorn squash. I also planted the squash this week. So I have squash planted along the back of the bed, these beds, and we're still waiting to see if anything happens with the yam. But the pumpkin is looking good. Here we go. We've got Jamaican pumpkin right here, and then those two are American pumpkins. Coming around, let me just grab so you can see, get something to point with. Okay, so Memorial Weekend, which should have been the 28th of May, Harry and Michelle were here. Harry helped me. He transplanted the red okra, and it's looking really good right here. So we have 4 plants here, and there are a couple more on further down. As you can see, this is a squash that went in earlier this week, and the onions that I did last week are, or a couple weeks ago, are looking good. So these are the red onion sets back here. These in the middle are some white onions right in here. Over here in this little section right here are red onion that started from seed, and over in the side where there's almost nothing is actually scallion cut from the kitchen, and so we're waiting to see if it happens. And look, scallion from lived last over winter last year is getting ready to bloom. It's blooming. Here's the eggplants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting from seed. And this one is the Prospero that I ordered from Chili Plants. And these are the cucumbers. There's actually cucumber up on the deck, so I'm gonna have to plant some more cucumbers in the back garden. And the squash. So this squash, and here is another squash. So I have 3 summer squash, and this is the sunburst. This one is a sunburst, and the first 2 are, this one is a different kind. I don't remember what it is right now. The tag is further down. This over here is a tomato growing in with a squash. The tomato never sprouted, so I used the pot and planted this iceberg, I think it is the white cucumber, and then in the pots. And this pot, the tomato, I guess, decided, you know, what the hell's going on here? It's my pot, and decided to grow. As I had mentioned, I pulled up the most of the mint that was growing in this bed, and this is the red beets that were transplanted on Memorial Weekend, also by Harry to help. So these actually are doing really well. They're sitting up. They're acting like they're planning to grow. So this is a good thing. And here are the other 2 red okra that he planted also. So now we have 6 of those, and they're all looking good. They're putting on new leaves, and they're growing, even though we've had like crazy weather since then. And they managed to survive. Weeds in the bed, but it's really not as bad when it comes to the weeds as it's been in the past. The other thing that's happening, which is really exciting, is that I think the callaloo that lived in is coming up finally. I think that maybe callaloo growing that's from seeds from last year, but this is a tomato bed. It is doing incredibly well so far. Nobody has died. Even the things that I've done completely illegal, which is put 2 plants in 1 pot. I haven't staked. I haven't put any cages up. I'm still deciding what I'm going to do, but they're doing good. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is essentially what I'm saying here. And here's another squash just planted, so you can see what we're doing. Behind the stainless steel pots, I'm using the space that's left there to put something else. And so we've got all the squashes, and then if there are any extra, then I find a spot in a bed and stick it, because I don't believe in letting people, letting these plants that work so hard to grow die. And here is this is a mix of red callaloo, which I think might be ready to start eating. We're gonna have to try it. And also pop chow is sitting in this bed too. So we have space, and obviously that's a massive um, potatoes doing very well. And there's red pop chow on the other side. And this is a weed that I have to take up. So that's the next thing. And you can see the pop chow that's planted in the peppers is sprouting. So we have to pull those up or so we can eat. And this is callaloo planted from seed and transplanted in this bed. It's finally taken off, but I need to figure out what's causing all these holes. I may have to do some spraying or some dusting to get rid of that. But we're gonna be eating callaloo tomorrow for Sunday for breakfast. So Michelle, make sure you're here if you want any. And here we've got peppers coming. And these are some Spanish type peppers that I'm growing for the first time this year because I saw this recipe to use them as stuff them with hot dogs and grill the hot dogs. So wrapped in bacon. So I'm gonna try that with my own peppers. And this is the Scotch bonnet right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a pop chow in the middle. And if you look closely, you can see the blooms. Get up close so you can see the peppers are blooming, the pop chow is blooming, and the peppers on there. And these 3 right here are jalapeno peppers, and they're blooming also. And there's a sweet pepper on this one. And here is okra. This is the green okra started from seed. 1, 2, and there are a few more. There's all the way over there. I'll show it when I come around the other side. And this is the next bed. The pot, it's got pop chow that's ready to be pulled, and it also has the purple pop chow that's looking really good. Everything is looking really exciting here, so we're gonna have to start eating some of this food and deciding if it's worth planting. And if it's worth planting, I'll plant it again. And here is squash, and this squash is see, this is the rain. Can't see which one this is. I cannot read it. Lemon. It's gonna be it looks like a lemon, and but it's a squash. And very exciting news right here going on. This is watermelon. So this is the sugar baby watermelon that I actually have up on the deck to put on the deck. So I have a couple here, but also what's decided to grow are this, which is the seeded watermelon, the big ones, and that's looking really good. I shoved a squash right here because I had extra, so hopefully it'll grow. It won't kill off anything that else is here. And this is honeydew melon. Woohoo! Looking really good. And over here is more watermelon. This is watermelon from eating watermelon, saving the seeds from last year. And see, this is what I was talking about. See, this is another one, and it's right here. There's actually 2, and this one's basically dead. This one's basically dead, and this one's deciding to look. Hopefully it's deciding to live. But over here is another sugar baby, and it's looking really good. So we are going. God bless, God willing, we'll have watermelon to eat this year. And I dropped the camera, so here we go. And here is the next bed. And summer squash, this is a scallop, one Peter Pan scallop. And so it looks like a hat, and it's all scalloped around the sides, and it's kind of flat, so it's not just a regular squash. None of the squash I planted are regular squashes, except maybe for the acorn. And then here is carrots, and I was expecting to see more in here, but at least we have some. So this side of the bed is the Jamaican carrots, seeds that came last year with Novelet. And then this is a potato. God knows how it got there, but somebody probably shoved it in there, probably me. And then on the other side is the American carrot. So I'm not quite certain why I'm having such a hard time with the carrots. So, but so far we're doing better than last year. So I'm gonna try again and see what happens. And the most incredible thing of all is the corn. And I don't even understand what's going on here, because I mean, it's already starting to bloom. You can see, and there is like all over, but they're not big enough. So I'm hoping that they shoot up, and because I'm not planning to eat one corn per stalk. So hopefully whatever is happening here corrects itself, and I actually end up with as many corn as I'm expecting to. But just in case, I'm going to plant more seeds, because I intend to eat corn all year, all summer, and then have corn to put in the garden, in the freezer for next year, for the winter time. And once again, so right here, if everybody remembers, the bed stopped here, the garden stopped here, with the corn bed was the last one. But I needed more space. I've been watching YouTube, and I wasn't really happy with what I saw with the sweet potatoes coming out of pots. So last week I had Mama come out, and he added another bed set here is what I'm calling it. And I got another stainless steel pot so that it's all even. And so we have another bed. And in this bed, last weekend, I put the yellow, these are golden beets on this side. And so far, some of them look like they might decide to grow because they're still standing up. And then on the other side is the last of the red beets that we had started from seed. So those are planted in this. And I think what I'm also going to do in this pot is put some more carrots, just so that I can see if, maybe the bed over there was just too rich, or I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was the time of year, or planted too early. So, unlike me, but quite also like me, we did not fully edge this bed, primarily because I refused to pay overpriced cost for the lumber to do it, and lumber is like ridiculous right now. So we're just using our extra wood just to give us a little bit of a barrier so we can see where the edges are. So I have to go get another piece and put it over here and use it up. But right now I'm using it as markers for other things, so that'll show up. But right in here are all potatoes. These are sweet potatoes. And then in the middle I had the yams that we used to make candied yams. growing in the kitchen, so I planted them, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but I guess we'll find out if we're gonna have candied yams out of the garden this year. And of course, as I mentioned, all the squash is going into the extra spaces where there is squash. Coming around the side, as I mentioned, so these are the red beets in the new pot, and the golden beets all started from seed. The golden beets started in the beginning of May, and the red beets were from in the middle of April. And the corn is looking good. Interestingly enough, even the corn on the very front row, the corn on the very front row is the corn that I started in seed from in late April, and it's looking good. And then what's in the middle is the corn that I bought, the transplants that I bought, the seedlings. And similarly on this edge is the corn that I started from seed, and it's, you know, everything is looking good. So I'm going to drop more seeds, and hopefully we'll be able to extend the harvest. And here is the carrots. I bought these poles, stainless steel poles, to use as the barriers in the corn bed. So I bought quite a few, and we're gonna plant them in the corners, probably like on 4, and make a couple of rows and stuff, and then use rope and wrap around them to make rows, almost like a Florida trellis. And this is to help save the corn from heavy winds. And the good thing about these is that they're all stainless steel, so they're indestructible. I can use them later to make more trellises like this if I want. I already want, so, and use them as stakes for anything else that needs staking in the garden. So here is the bed, and you can see, just looking from the back to the front. I'll just back up so you can see how we're doing. It's looking good. It's looking really good here. So this is kind of where we are. The goal now is to obviously keep these things alive, and then finish up on the deck with the rest of the herbs and the veggies and the berries that I have up there to plant. I have strawberries and the blueberries, and I'm actually gonna go and show you guys. We have blackberries coming up in the garden. I'm gonna have to take a quick look. Well, these aren't blackberries. These are cannas that I got from QVC, and as I showed you, I was using the boards, extra boards, to see where they are. But they're coming up. They're doing good. Blackberry are looking really good. Over here, you can see it's going to be fun trying to save them from the birds, but there's quite a few coming. And interestingly enough, this is all blackberries. I'm going to move the tree out the way. So you can see how big this is. We're gonna have to See, look. Look how big this is. It's growing all the way up in the tree. And so now I'm studying blackberries on YouTube. And I think it's supposed to grow like this. It's supposed to send up these tall ones to grow, and then next year they fall over like this, and then that's when they bear. They bear on the second, but I guess I'll find out this year because I'm making sure to come out here every year, every day or so to observe what's going on. And just for Harry, we're gonna go look at his rock garden. See how we're doing, Harry. Planting on rocks. See, they're growing. I think I need a little bit more soil. This is Memorial Weekend. We planted these hens and chicks over here, and they're looking good. And then we also planted on my other big rock it's difficult. Whew. I'm getting wet from all these trees. Oh. This is portulaca, and the extra hens and chicks still hanging on.